this particular brochure, starting off just using a Helvetica font, when you take a look at their logo, they kind of use the same. They just enclosed and encapsulated the type a little tighter in the kerning, tracking of the type itself. But again, the illustrations, they have some exploded views to show you the detail of how this is illustrated into there is pretty impressive. So when you take a look at anything, any brochure, any type of thing that comes around, see it as that exactly how it's placed together in a graphic segment. So giving you that opportunity. And then taking a look at this shape, I've just changed a little bit on the composition, flipped the illustration reference photo, and again coming up with starting this off just with the vertical, since it's in a 2-point perspective idea with this isometric kind of sketch. So kind of just breaking it apart, trying to estimate the height of this and also the angles. So the angles are going to change. Just remember all these lines going parallel from one side to the next and building this up. So this has a plastic ridge, and as you find the center pieces for it, it's going to give you this height line right here. So this ridge wraps itself all around this section, becomes a thickness to it. So I just have to add that piece to it. And just kind of freehand sketching it in now. I can use the ruler straight edge in a second. This has a little bit of a turn to it. And then there's a couple of segments that are elevated. And that wraps itself around here. And then these verticals coming down. So it makes just like if you think of it in Illustrator, starting off with a square, clicking on these points to round them off. We'll build that up, and then this also has a thickness to it. And that clamps itself right there. And then as this transfers through, just following the same perspective for the opening, finding the edges for this, and it makes it pretty well. So you have pretty much the first linear part of the drawing layout done, and then trying to go in and start to shade this as you're drawing. So you can use templates, or straight edge helps you with the line. So just kind of building this section up. So just giving that straight edge, kind of pushing it around just to give it a slight shadow to it. Same with this one. So it is kind of this white plastic, but the difference in the shadows between these two. So you can start out just with the shading, and again, you can use anything to protect your other sketches. Building that up. So that gives you at least the value, and then the darkest value is going to be right where they meet. Trying to build that part up. I'm just going to find a little bit of the linear part of this. This has the traversing and then kind of curving it as it gets to the edge there. part just has the extra segment to it. Showing the ridges there. So most of the linear part is laid out, and then you're just trying to soften those edges as they get closer down there to the values there. Let's take a little bit of that out. Build that piece up. And again, just kind of blocking it out, laying out the patterns, using the idea of the gradient shading. Builds this part up, put a little tone to show the plastic is kind of curved as it goes underneath the surface of that detail, and just letting it gradually gradate to the top. And right where this line, even though I put a heavy line there, just kind of soften it up. A little cast shadow here. And again, this has the outline, a little bit of offsetting for the shadow. Right where these two values, that's where it's going to be the darkest, even though this is a light plastic color. Kind of building that up. Trying to make this as dark as you can back in here. Stop.